Hi, in this video I'm going to show you how to use the Academic Search Complete database and kind of give you an introduction on how to start your search and some of the components in this database. This is a great database for finding magazine and journal articles. It also does some newspaper articles and whatnot. To get started, from any page that you're at, you want to go to the library homepage here at MPC. And in order to do that, you want to go to the website, which is at www.mpc.edu/library. And then once you enter that, it'll take you to our library homepage. And there's a couple of ways to get to our master list of databases where you'll find this Academic Search Complete database. And so what you want to do is once you're at the MPC library homepage, come on down here and you can either click on the databases link on the left-hand side of the page under library, or you can go under quick links and click on databases. Either one of these links will take you to our master list of databases that we have here at MPC. So I'm going to click on that and you'll see here's our master list. We have 81 databases as of now. And the very first one listed alphabetically is Academic Search Complete. Okay, so this is the one we're going to want to go to. If you look to the right, we also have some featured databases like our top 10, and it's also listed over there. So either way, I'm going to click on the Academic Search Complete. Now, if you're off campus and you're not logged into Lobo Apps, it'll ask you for your Lobo Apps login. If you're on campus or already logged into Lobo Apps, it'll take you directly to the database. So I'm going to click on Academic Search Complete right here, and it takes me to the entry page for Academic Search Complete where I can do my searching. And up here you have some boxes where you can put in your search terms, and you have the Boolean operators right here. You can also use Boolean operators within this box up here too, which I'll show you. So either way, let's get started here. And I'm going to come up here and put in my search terms. So I'm going to put in Google and privacy. Now, I could also just put in Google and then use and put in privacy here. You can see I got my other Boolean operators right here. But either way, I'm going to do a search for Google and privacy, and I want to find articles dealing with this topic. So I put in my search terms, and I come over here to search. And this then takes me to the results page for my search. And so you can see at the top here, it says I have 1,740 total results. So that's magazine, journal, newspaper articles, and whatnot. And just really quickly, I'm going to show you some of the specifics on this database. But first of all, if you come down here, you'll see the first 10 articles. And so if it says periodical, it means it's from a magazine. If it says trade publication, it's from a trade publication. If it says academic journal or peer-reviewed academic journal, it's from an academic journal. And if it says newspaper, it's from a newspaper. So it kind of tells you where the article comes from in the results here. I'll come back down here in just a second. But if you look at the top here, we have some limiters here. And if you look to the right over here, first of all, it tells me that my results are ranked by relevance. So the articles at the top, they think are the most relevant. It has my search terms in it the most. And so it's a really good chance that the articles in the first several pages are going to be very relevant to your topic. All right, but you can change it too. So instead of relevance, you can do the date newest, so bring the most recent articles to the top, or the date oldest, bring the oldest articles to the top. But one thing you want to do is I like to keep it at relevance because there's other ways to limit your date. If you put it on date newest, it'll give you the most recent articles, but they aren't probably the most relevant. There's a little bit of a trade-off there. So when I do searches in databases, I like to keep it at relevance. Also, as I went down, you see the first 10 results are on this page here. You can expand that. So instead of 10, you can expand it to 20, 30, or 50. And I like to put it at 50 results per page because then you're more apt to scroll down and look at the later articles because you might find some really good ones down there. Okay, so that's one option there. And then up here in the upper left, we've got some options here too. So first of all the articles in full text. That's the default for this database. If you want nothing but academic or peer-reviewed articles, you can click on this button and it'll bring up nothing but academic and peer-reviewed articles as opposed to magazines and trade publications and newspapers. All right, but here's a really important option is all dates. So right now I'm getting all the dates going back to the beginning of time. I can come up here and instead of just having all dates, I can limit it to maybe just the past 12 months or the past 5 years or 10 years, or I can put in an actual date range. So if there's a specific date range, you can actually put that in there too. All right. So I like to put in maybe I'll put in the past 5 years and it changes my results. All right. And then I now have 473 articles that are from the past 5 years. And then you can also limit it by source type. So you can limit it to just the magazine articles or just the academic journal articles or just newspaper articles or whatnot. And so I could click on this and it'll give me nothing but the 81 magazine articles. So I'm going to click on that and apply it, and you'll see that I have just the 81 magazine articles now. So once I'm here, I can come down and look at these articles, and you'll see that again, they're ranked by relevance. And so here's Google search knows where you live. Here's how to claw back some privacy. All right. And so some of the components here is you can see there's the author of the article. It's from the magazine PC World from July of 2026, volume and issue number, the original page numbers, and the database. And if you come down here, most of these articles will have an abstract, which gives you a brief description about what the article is about. So you can take a look at that. And if you look at the abstract, it might tell you that it's a really good article, that maybe it really ties into what you're looking for. So if you want to do that, you can go down and look at the full text articles. If you're not, you can go on to the next one. So this one, I'm going to look at this article. This one looks really good to me. So if I come down here to access options, you'll see if you have access options, it could be PDF or online full text. Down here, you'll see this one's only an online full text. Either way, you're going to want to click on the full text. I'm going to click on online full text right here. And once I'm here, here's the actual article. And you have some options with this article, what you want to do with it. And first of all, let's look up at the upper right-hand corner. All right, so this looks like a good article to me. You can get the citation here. So if you ever see the quotation marks in database, that tells you what the citation is. Now this one defaults to APA. We're using MLA for our Library 50 class. So make sure you're in the right citation style. So I'm going to click on MLA 9th. And there's my MLA citation. All right. So, and this database actually does a pretty good job with MLA citations. But here's a citation. You can copy and paste it and put it into your notes or whatever. All right. So that's one way to get a citation. All right. If you're using EasyBib or RefWorks or some kind of program, you can export the citation into that too. All right. But coming up here, see that little share sign? There's a little arrow. That's share. So if I come up here, I can save it to my Google Drive or my OneDrive if I want. This is very important though. You ever see these little chain links right here? It says create a link. If you're going to copy a link to the article in any database, always look for this and find that link right there. So here's the link to the actual article. I'm going to copy and save that into my notes, and therefore I have a direct link back to this article. Okay, you might have to be logged into Lobo apps to get to the article in the database, but it's a direct link. Another thing in the share option is email. And so if I click on email, you can actually email the article to yourself. And what's great about email is that you can also add the citation. So I can go to the citation style, add MLA, and then email the article to myself, and I will have the full text article. Could be a link to the article or the article within the text of the email, and it has the MLA citation attached. All right, so that's a great option with this database, and most databases have that. And then you can download it right here. You can save it to your computer if you want, the article, or to a file. You can print it out. Gives you an option here to print out the article if you'd like. And then over here, you can translate it into different languages. Okay, so that's kind of a cool option. And you can also listen to the article, et cetera, et cetera. So you have a lot of options in how to deal with the article. All right, so I'm gonna go back to my results really quickly. And one other option, if you look under the article that we just looked at, there's a thing called AI Insights. And most of the articles have these now. And what this is an AI summary of what the article is about. And so you want to take a look at that. I'm gonna click on AI Insights. So it's looking at the article and it's giving you a brief summary of what the article has. So it's kind of like the abstract that we looked at before. And take a look at this information. If something looks interesting, go back into the article and look up that specific thing, because this is AI summarizing something, so it could be a little off. So you definitely want to make sure you go back into the article to find that information. But it's a nice brief little summary about what the article is about. So that's a really good thing that this database does, which is kind of a new component. And once you've found some articles, you can come back up to the top. You can change your search terms and look for additional articles dealing with your topic. You can also come over here, and we have a new component called natural language search. If you click on that, you can actually put in questions or put in statements, and it'll do a search within the database for articles dealing with your search. So that's a new option that we've had in the last few months. So you might want to check that out too. So this was a quick video to show you what Academic Search Complete can do. It is a great database for finding magazine, journal, and newspaper articles. If you have any questions or need help, please ask a librarian or come up to the MPC Library Reference Desk, and we can help you out with any of your research needs, including using this and other databases here at MPC.